Bom, eu tô aqui com o diretor Dimitri Verhuslt. I think I pronounced it correctly.
More or less.
E a gente vai falar aqui sobre o filme dele, The Weeping Walk, que eu achei muito bom, eu achei um dos melhores da mostra. E a gente vai comentar aqui sobre um pouco desse filme de comédia, meio mórbido, que eu acho que foi um dos melhores mesmo. So, Dimitri, I would like to ask you, your film has a sense, a multiple sense. I think your film is some type of comedy about death, about a subtopic of our society, like grief, or actually dying and this type of stuff. That is very morbid, but you treat it as a joke. You have this acid sense in your film. I would like to ask you, what are your views about death, about grieving?
Well, in the first place, I don't think it's about death in particular, the movie. It's more about the fact that we are united by a person. And very often a funeral is the very last time the constellation of friends and family will be ever together. Later they will converge to different places, but this is the last time they will be together because the people or the human being that united them in life has gone, has passed away. So it's a unique moment of bringing all these people together, and it's the last time they have the opportunity to talk with each other. Very often funerals are those moments where all of a sudden stories come up. And well, I'm a novelist or I'm a filmmaker, so when you're interested in stories, you're fond of funerals because that's the place where they pop up.
Yeah, and you shot everything in a way that you kind of feel immersed in those absurd topics. I think when you start a film, it all has a sense, a dark sense. You start a film and you think that it's going to be a drama or some sort of film in that way, dramatic, with a lot of heavy stuff, but it suddenly changes into a comedic story. It has those characters. I really love the young one, the dancer, because everything is kind of soft in a way. You see those characters and they are handling heavily the situation, but they are having fun with it because they are together. What do you think of that trace that you put through all the characters, their relationship? They all really like each other, but they have some discussions in the way. What do you think of this bond that they create?
Well, I'm glad you have noticed that I changed tune during the movie. I've been like kind of football player, doing tricks with the ball. You think the ball will go to the right side, but I will play it to the left side. And it's a very nice thing to do. So in the beginning it's kind of realistic drama, and bit by bit the absurd part comes into the story. I think, wow, this weird story is getting surreal. It becomes absurd, and then you feel permitted to laugh finally. Well, after half an hour you think, hey, but it's okay when I laugh. And in the end, with the dancing part, it's becoming emotional again. So I have the whole scale of different emotions in one movie, which was I was aiming for. Yeah.
So you filmed here not only a family, but other parts that are together with this family, like the driver that is a conductive in a literal way, but in a figurative way of this story. I think the figure of the driver in your film is more important than the protagonist, the father of this family that is suffering in such a way. I would like to ask you, what do you think of the driver of the catacomb, as they say, in this story?
Well, I like the driver because in the beginning you might think he's an asshole. He's not too friendly. He feels very shitty about the fact that his funeral will take days instead of 3 hours. So he feels fucked. His relationship sucks. He feels very sad and failed in love. And he's a changing character in the movie because he becomes the one who's looking for love and he finds love finally in the movie, and he becomes more friendly, and yeah, we kind of like him. I think he could be us.
Yeah. And let's go to a more realistic point of view, not point of view, but topic. Your end kind of subverts the whole film. The last shot, for me, it's what speaks an absurd movie, a dramatic one, a realistic one with tones of surrealism, but subverts all. It kind of feels...
That's nice to hear.
Yeah. I was feeling with the last dance, with the last shot, a kind of preaching for the life, even in death. What do you say about your ending?
It's the reason why it had to be a movie, the last scene, because I'm a novelist. I write books. This is my first movie, and it was a story I had in my head for a very, very long time. I was not capable of writing it as a novel. And why? Because I needed the dance. It's language. Dancing is language. But it's merely impossible. At least for me, it's impossible to write a dance. So I felt the need to show it together with the music and the movement of the body. Although I'm not a dancer myself, far from it. But I love body language, and I hope I've been showing it in this movie that the guy who's dancing at the grave is really telling a story only with his body. The whole problem with the family is they didn't talk. They never talked to each other. And he's the dancer and he said, well, I'm gonna be the one who's talking here. He shuts his mouth and he's using his body and he's expressing himself in, I think, a beautiful and touching way.
Yeah, I mean, this character, I love it so much, the character of the young one, this dancer. He's kind of, he's not against the family, but he's far away from it. He's retrieved by his father because on the whole discussion he had with all the relatives of him. And what did you thought about introducing this character in your script? What was your intention putting such a young man with those topics of death kind of in a rebel way in the beginning, but realizing what is family through the script, through your film?
I wouldn't say for him it's kind of payback time, but he felt the need to say, look, this is what you have done to my life. You have ruined my youth. But he's not angry. He's kind of forgiving, I think. But the most important part for him was, you have to know it. You have to realize what you have done. I'm going to tell you what you have done. And don't worry about me, I have a fine life. I became a dancer, a professional dancer, so I'm fine. I'm happy. I succeeded. But you have to know what you did, and that's for him. It's about truth. The truth has to be known. We have to stop. Not particularly lying, because this was not a lying family, but they didn't say a thing, which is a way of lying. Not saying something is a way of lying. And he wanted to make an end of it, just to put the truth on the table. And case closed for him. He's fine.
Yeah, and I think as a novelist, I interviewed some novelists in my life, and they all say that they put a character in the movie or the book that represents themselves in the script, in the story. What would you say is the character that most represents you in your script?
That's the boring part about being a writer. Everyone always wants to know if something is autobiographical. I'd say it's not relevant. I mean, if it is so, it's my problem. I'm not going to share it with the world.
I agree with you.
And imagine it's autobiographical. The nice part of it would be that it became fiction, and that the fiction might be strong enough to stand on its own. So if life becomes an independent story, it's a nice thing, and I would focus on the independent story.
Yeah, and another thing that I thought when I saw your movie, cinema nowadays, at least for me, is fearful. It's like story makers, directors don't want to show a story nowadays that has comedy. The comedy is dying for me, at least in cinema.
Is it the same here in?
I would say in Brazil,
yeah.
Is it? People are stopping to make comedies because they think it's for kids. They think it's for the only young. And your story is bravery in making a Monty Python way of filmmaking nowadays with the story of this family. What would you tell to those people that think that comedy is so for the young, not for thinking, etc.?
It's nice you have noticed there's something going on in art, in music, for example. Most of the things they make is down tempo. Up tempo has gone, as if it's and if we have up tempo, it's bad music. Good quality up tempo music, where is it? So everything is down and moralizing, and the world is dying, which is maybe the case. But if the world is dying, for me, it's a reason to tell a good joke. There's nothing wrong with humor. On the contrary, humor is a way of, humor is punk. It's a way of watching the world. Hey, I want to tell you a joke. Humor is a way of suffering. I mean, if you go to the favelas, people will make jokes there about hunger. It's a way of suffering, humor. And the same happened during the World War. People were making jokes about the war. When in the 60s people were suffering from Catholicism in Europe, they made jokes about priests. So it's a survival. It's the funniest way of crying.
Yeah,
and it's a survival thing. Humor is a survival tool, and I'm missing it in arts.
I'm missing it too.
Yeah. And as if as if you're a child, as you have said, as if you're not intelligent enough to make a serious movie. But humor is a serious thing. There should be a university of humor.
Yeah, and I think for the one final question, I will ask you a simple one. What would you say, complementing the question that I made, what would you say to this new generation that is not embracing humor in their plays, in their scripts, in their novels, etc.?
The thing is, we have become scared of humor. It's not the only reason, but it might be a capital reason, because of the whole woke generation. We are scared to say something, because there's always someone who feels attacked. Whether it's a girl who feels we've been entering her or boy the safe space, or whether it's a lesbian who feels there's always someone, or there might be always someone. It's the same with literature. When you write nowadays a novel and you give it to the publishing company, they have sensitivity readers. So they read your book and they're looking for what might be shocking. And there is fear of shocking. But shocking is an essential part of art. If you see what, for example, Stravinsky with the Sacré du Printemps, this was shocking in the musical world. If you read James Joyce, it was shocking for the people in those days. But it were earthquakes, so it shook up the world, and the world was another place after those books and after those paintings of Picasso. And so if we cancel the whole possibility even of shocking, we cancel art, and that's a dangerous thing. I don't want to live on a planet without art. It's called a planet without art. It's called the Moon or Mars. I want to be on Mother Earth, which is a planet with art.
And I think that was it. I'm grateful that we had this discussion, this interview. I really enjoy your film.
Thank you.
I invite all of them to watch your film, because
Me too.
I really think that your film has a sense of absurdity that I've been not watching recently in movies that are released nowadays and etc.
It's nice to hear.
Mas é isso, gente. Muito obrigado e acompanhem aí.
Thank you.